Even weeks before the Cannes Film Festival began, we were telling you what to expect here on Showcase. But even we couldn't predict who would win the coveted top prize, known as the Palme d'Or.
La maîtresse de cérémonie du 70e Festival de Cannes.
Spanish filmmaker Pedro Almodóvar is an art house darling. He was also the president of the jury at this year's Cannes Film Festival, and the honour fell to him to preside over the awards ceremony. The Swedish satirical drama The Square won the top prize, the Palme d'Or. The movie is about the curator of a museum filled with pretentious conceptual art. Director Ruben Ostlund picked up the award.
If you look back a little bit, then you will see many directors that have been working with satire as a genre. So maybe the last 10 years or so, a little bit. But I think I was very inspired of Holy Motors by Leo Carax, and also last year Tony Erdmann, also bringing in a lot of humor.
For many critics, the winner was a surprise. The French drama BPM, Beats Per Minute, had been the favourite. But it settled for second prize, the Grand Prix Award. It's a wrenching, humanistic look at the war on AIDS in the 80s.
For me, it's not really important for my career, it's important for the film. I worked so that this film would be an object outside of myself. It's a film that lives without me, and I'd like it to live in my absence. That's what the most important thing is to me. That's why this prize is important, because I think it will, without a doubt, mean more people are more interested in this film, and without a doubt, go see it.
Seems like the soldier being here is having an effect.
Best Director went to Sofia Coppola for The Beguiled, a woman-driven US Civil War story. It's hailed as Coppola's most feminist work yet, and the award made her only the second woman to win Best Director at Cannes. Andrei Dzyagnitsev won the jury prize for Loveless. The movie uses the search for a missing child to take a cold, hard look at all that's rotten in modern-day Russia and the world.
I wanted to have something that the simple viewer could go to see, and afterwards come back home and kiss his wife, children, and bring the family together.
How long does it take for the hair to grow back?
Best Screenplay was a tie. Lynn Ramsey's You Were Never Really Here and Yorgos Lanthimos's The Killing of a Sacred Deer both were winners.
It's very significant to be given this kind of an award from this festival. First of all, it will help a lot with the path the movie will take in the future, and we are very happy.
Diane Kruger was named Best Actress. She tackled her first starring role in her native language of German for In the Fade. It's a drama by Fatih Akin about neo-Nazi terrorism.
Everything in my career started out in Cannes. My very first movie was here, and I won the Chopard Young Actress Award. I was in competition here with Inglourious Basterds, and sort of every film that has been important in my career premiered here. So it is a great honor to get this tonight. It really means the world.
Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor for his role in You Were Never Really Here. He plays a grizzled, tormented war veteran who's trying to save a teenage girl from a sex trafficking ring.
I told my girlfriend that it was going to be, so it's going to be a really good experience because I was going to get crushed, and it'd be really humbling. It'd be really important to go through an experience in which you are unanimously disliked, and that was my expectation in coming here. So this is, I couldn't have imagined it.
Netflix hogged many of the headlines in the lead up to Cannes, but the streaming service left empty-handed after showing its first and possibly last movies on the Riviera. Perhaps it was no big surprise at a film festival that's protected cinematic purity for so long. After all, it celebrated a big anniversary this year. It's been around now for 70 years.
Journalist and blogger Charles Donovan joins me now from London to talk about this some more. Charles, I loved the movie. What did you think?
Yes, I thought it was fantastic, and I think it's wonderful when an outsider wins. The Square is directed by Swedish director Ruben Ostlund, and it's a fascinating piece of work. You know, it takes comedic aim at a number of targets: conceptual art, modern art, viral videos, even entertainment journalism. And it wasn't considered a contender, a likely contender for the big prize, and yet here it is, it's won it.
I mean, that scene where the guy is just acting like a gorilla at the really refined dinner, I mean, it's just compelling and has you on the edge of your seat for all the wrong reasons.
Absolutely. I mean, the director is known for, he has a love of kind of playing with the idea of awkwardness, not just the awkwardness that's being depicted on screen, but actually the sensation of prolonged awkwardness felt by the audience. That's something he enjoys toying with.
Now, we've covered the Cannes Film Festival since the very beginning, since weeks before. Every single day there was some other small little controversy, and it ended the same way. Jessica Chastain making comments about equality.
Yes, indeed. I mean, just as Will Smith spoke out about the need for greater racial diversity at Cannes, Jessica Chastain spoke to the press about how the competing films had left her with a kind of worrying notion of how women are depicted in cinema. She spoke about the need for more women storytellers, and she felt that if there were more of them, this would lead to a depiction on screen of women that is more on a par with how she encounters them, how we all encounter them in day-to-day life, instead of what she perhaps saw as rather blank figures who simply react to men. And she wasn't alone. She was backed up by German director Marin Ader, who made very similar points about how if there are more women filmmakers, then the depiction on screen will reflect modern women more accurately. So now it's just really a case of us waiting and seeing whether the president and the director of Cannes take this on board and how long it will take for this sort of change to occur.
Now, often what happens is, especially with something like Cannes, the Oscars maybe is a little bit different, but people have not actually seen the movies before they are announced. You know, can you recommend any things that people might want to see?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the best jumping off point, the place to start really, is with what are nominally the second and third prize. So this year, that would be, the second prize is the jury prize, and that went to Loveless, a Russian film about a warring couple whose child goes missing. But it also is an indictment of modern politics and the lack of empathy in contemporary society. Then there's the Grand Prix, which this year went to 120 beats per minute, which is a French film about, it's been very well received, and it's about the early days of AIDS activism in France.
And one last question before we go. Obviously, the Netflix controversy dominated a lot of the coverage of the Cannes Film Festival. Do you think it will actually, in your opinion, make a difference? Do you think we'll see something different next year?
Well, there is talk of things being different. I mean, this was a controversy that ran and ran from the moment Pedro Almodovar spoke about the importance of theatrical presentations for films. It rumbled on because this year Netflix had 2 entries in the competition. And there were protests by French theatre owners, and that led to quite fast backpedaling by the festival. They said that from next year, a film must have a proper French theatrical presentation in order to be eligible for the competition. Now, that's not set in stone yet, but what it could mean is that Netflix will still be there next year, but all their product could be out of competition and therefore relegated to a less prominent corner of the festival.
OK, Charles, that's all we have time for. Thanks for joining us on Showcase.